Hi everyone, Sean here from Attack Panic, and in this lesson we are going to take a closer look at your specific condition. It's important to keep in mind, as always, that this lesson is an extension of lesson 1 and should be watched in conjunction with that lesson. OCD is part of an underlying anxiety condition. It is not a standalone condition. How anxiety conditions such as OCD manifest is outlined in lesson 1. However, let's dig a bit deeper to really help you understand what's really going on. An underlying anxiety condition is responsible for the obsessive and persistent what-if or catastrophic thought processes that plague you as an OCD sufferer, which forces you into engaging in certain compulsive, mental and or physical, repetitive and unproductive behaviors and rituals. You believe that if these compulsive rituals are not performed urgently and without deviation, you will experience some form of catastrophe. Performing these rituals provides some relief for you. However, it is usually short-lived as the obsessive, disturbing thoughts and fears resurface, leaving you compelled to carry out the rituals again and again. Some of these rituals can include the following: constantly washing your hands or cleaning your home out of fear of germs, a compulsion to keep things in their place, a compulsion to count things over and over again, a compulsion to check and recheck things out of fear, doubt and worry, persistent, invasive thoughts. How and why your underlying anxiety condition happened to manifest as an obsessive, uncontrollable urge to carry out a particular ritual is not really that important. What is important is that you understand, accept and believe the following to be true. No matter how long you have been suffering, no matter how bad you think you are, providing you have been accurately diagnosed with OCD and you are not going crazy, you do not have a mental illness or disorder, then all you have is an anxiety condition. Your anxiety levels are stuck on high, producing corresponding anxious thoughts, actions and behavior. The anxious behavior has become a habit. Through repetition, you have programmed yourself to be an anxious person. You are stuck in a constant state of anxiety. You are on high alert. All your senses, sight, hearing, smells, touch, are heightened. This is normal, as this is what anxiety is designed to do. You are agitated, irritated. The more anxious you behave, the more you artificially raise anxiety levels, which increases your anxious behavior. Man, what a vicious cycle. If you do not find ways to relieve the anxiety, your levels would eventually rise to extreme levels, at which point you would activate the fight or flight response experienced as a panic attack. Then you find yourself suffering from panic attacks as well. For whatever reason, again, it's not important, you find that performing some kind of ritual or task provides some form of relief from all your horrible anxious sensations, which is really cool. You feel better. What you weren't aware of, but you will soon begin to understand, is that all you were doing was dealing with the symptoms of high anxiety, the effects, not the cause. All your uncomfortable sensations that you are experiencing are the effects of your OCD. They are not the cause. The cause of the anxious sensations, the effects, is the underlying high anxiety. Your underlying high anxiety is causing the sensations, okay? And your rituals are dealing with the effects, not the cause. So you get some form of relief, much like if you were to take medication, for example, or with some other coping strategy or safety crutch. But it's only short-lived because you will still have an underlying anxiety condition which is responsible for the uncomfortable sensations. Until you address the underlying bad habit, which you are doing now, you will always experience these horrible yet harmless sensations, no matter how much you perform your obsessive rituals. I digressed a bit here, so getting back to what I was talking about. Your particular ritual provides relief in the moment. But because you still have underlying high anxiety operating in the background, you will soon notice those old, familiar, ugly sensations again. So you go back to your safety crutch or coping technique, which is to perform some ritual, and you will receive some short-lived relief. This is a vicious cycle indeed, which just strengthens your underlying anxiety, intensifying your anxious behavior. This anxious behavior is based on resistance, based on fear, and you are inadvertently sending a message to your subconscious mind that you are in danger, so you need protection. It doesn't matter that there is no real danger. Your subconscious mind doesn't reason like that. It will just do whatever you consciously tell it or believe to be true. If you don't perform your particular ritual, your anxiety levels will more than likely spiral to extreme levels, activating the emergency fight or flight response to protect you from, well, nothing. You become obsessed with performing your ritual in order to provide relief from the sensations. This is OCD. But this is no different to any other conditions. You have underlying anxiety. You have programmed yourself, trained yourself to be an anxious person and to behave inappropriately anxious. In your case, you perform rituals to keep yourself safe, to provide temporary relief. And this is your safety crutch. This is your coping strategy. There is no difference to your safety crutch than to others like avoidance, lucky charms, exit strategies, or even the biggie, medication. Because if you don't perform the ritual, you fear losing control. Well, what would actually happen is that you would experience a panic attack. Now, what you're about to learn through this course is that the obsessive compulsive ritual that you carry out is not the problem. It's not even the horrible sensations that you experience that pop up seemingly automatically. In fact, it's not even the underlying high anxiety responsible for this whole mess in the first place. The problem is what you actually fear or think you fear, and how you are consciously reacting in the moment. Up until now, you fear the obsessive compulsions, or rather, you fear not carrying out your obsessive compulsions. You fear not carrying out these compulsions would result in some kind of catastrophic event. But you are only performing the rituals because you are trying to get rid of or find relief from the anxious sensations that are popping up automatically, and will continue to do so until we remove the behavior, which we will do in building blocks 4. What you actually fear are the sensations themselves. You fear the horrible, uncomfortable yet harmless sensations. You perform the rituals because you are trying to get rid of the sensations, not because you fear what would happen if you don't clean your hands or the house, or if you don't count things over and over again, for example. There is no other reason you are obsessed with performing your rituals other than to find relief from your anxious sensations. But you will never find long-term relief until we deal with the cause, which is your underlying anxiety condition. Or you take drugs. But drugs will have the same temporary effect as your obsessive compulsiveness. So, in summary, you perform your obsessive compulsive rituals to provide relief from the anxious sensations. This is your safety crutch, your coping strategy. Anxious sensations are caused by an underlying high anxiety condition and habitual anxious pattern of behavior. The sensations are the effect of the underlying anxiety condition. Your relief will be short-lived as your coping strategy is targeting the effect, not the cause. Your underlying anxiety condition is alive and well and therefore producing more horrible sensations. This is a vicious cycle. For if you didn't perform your ritual, your anxiety levels would rise to extreme levels and you would experience a panic attack. The anxious sensations are a false alarm. There is no danger. Whilst they may be uncomfortable and horrible, they are harmless and will not harm you. What you actually fear are the sensations themselves. You do not fear the consequences of not cleaning the house, your hands, or not counting and recounting, or not reorganizing. You fear the sensations, nothing more. It is your conscious interpretation of fear, your conscious fearful reaction to your sensations,
in the moment that determines whether they are good or bad, or whether or not they spiral out of control. Your conscious interpretation or fearful reaction in the moment actually fuels the anxiety or panic cycle. When you stop running from fear, fear stops running you.
Now we have jumped the gun here a little bit. I'm introducing to you ideas that we haven't covered yet, but rest assured this will all start making sense in the next few lessons. Now, very soon, with understanding and belief in what I'm telling you, and with faith and courage, you will be able to stand right in front of your anxious sensations, your fears, without the need to rely on your coping strategies and safety crutches and completely disempower your fears. You will do this through the only technique you need, the only technique which works, your attitude, your conscious attitude.
Here are two awesome quotes from one of my favorite trainers and teachers, Dr. Reed Wilson. Your commitment, your resistance to fight or avoid your discomfort actually causes your continued problem with panic. The single most important way to win over panic attacks is to change your attitude towards the panic. Techniques will not conquer panic. Attitude will.
Like I said earlier, I'm jumping the gun here again, just a little bit, but you have the conscious choice on how you want to react in the moment to your sensations. You are in complete control in the moment. You are the conscious choice maker. Your conscious mind is the captain of the subconscious mind, and you can give it direction in the very moment, irrespective of what has popped up from the subconscious based on a habitual way of reacting. They are only an initial reaction, an initial anxious sensation or thought, and you have the conscious power to decide what happens next in the very moment. Of course, if you were to observe the sensations and react with fear and resistance, you will most definitely feel the anxiety. The sensations will become more intense and uncomfortable. You stop focusing on the facts and become focused on performing your obsessive ritual to provide relief. Either that or risk having a panic attack. But you also have the conscious choice to react with non-resistance, fearlessness, disempowering the anxiety cycle without having to use your coping techniques or safety crutches. This is what you are going to learn to do in the remainder of this course. Building Blocks 2 is going to drill down to what it is that you actually fear. It will teach you the one and only technique that you need to heal yourself, your conscious attitude. This is the really, really important stuff. Building Blocks 3 will teach you how to completely disempower the panic response, stop panic in its tracks, without safety crutches and coping strategies. Building Blocks 3 will give you the faith that you can go into any situation and not fear the fear.
Building Blocks 3 will not stop the initial anxious sensations. It can't, because at the moment it is a habitual pattern of behavior. Building Blocks 4 will do that. But you will learn that this doesn't matter. It's how you consciously respond. It's the conscious message that you send to the subconscious in the moment that matters. No coping strategies, no safety crutches. In your case, no compulsive or obsessive rituals.
Building Blocks 4 will help you remove the underlying high anxiety condition behavior. If you adopt and implement the behavioral and attitude changes outlined in Building Blocks 4, make them part of your daily life, make them a habit, you will remove the underlying anxious behavior and replace it with new non-anxious behavior.
By removing the underlying anxiety condition, replacing it with non-anxious behavior, you will remove the corresponding obsessive thoughts, and when they are removed, the compulsive and obsessive behavior and rituals will also disappear. In this normal state, you will worry when there is something to worry about. You will become anxious when there is something to be anxious about, and you will panic when there is something to panic about.
This is going to take practice and repetition on your part, though. There is no magic bullet here. You taught yourself to be an anxious person. Now you have to teach yourself to be a non-anxious person. But you can do it. You can do it through the Attack Panic program, because I'm going to be here walking you through every step of the way. I will be here with you, showing you exactly what you need to do. I will be your personal coach. If I can do it, if thousands of others can do it, then so can you. Your subconscious mind is your friend and will do whatever you tell it to, including protecting you, preparing you for fight or flight, even in situations that do not warrant such a response. This is good news. You are going to learn how to use the power of your subconscious mind for good and not evil. You are going to learn in the upcoming lessons that you are consciously in control of how you want to react. It is your conscious choice in any moment that determines whether your initial sensations and thoughts spiral out of control in any given situation. You will learn how to deal with the intrusive and worrying thoughts and flashbacks. I really do hope this lesson has not only built up your knowledge and understanding of what you are going through, but also to give you faith and confidence that you can be well again. You can heal yourself.
And I also hope that you can now see how all the conditions are closely related. OCD is not a disorder or a standalone condition. To break its shackles over you, you must form this belief if you are to move forward and do what you need to do to heal yourself. To believe in the opposite, to believe that you suffer from a mental illness or disorder, is just asking for trouble, asking for more of what you are currently getting.
If you are willing to do whatever it takes, if you are willing to practice and persevere, your full recovery is certain. We've got lots of work to do. I'll see you very soon in the next lesson.